Yo, what's poppin', all my peeps? It is I, your host with the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can, and champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, here for another edition of Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show. Obviously, you can't have Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show without the best of the West. You can't forget about Sara Marshall. Sara, what's poppin', girl?
Hey yo.
Hey yo, to all the peeps out there. I want to say hi because everyone is here. The Kingdom of Razor is here.
Wow.
He says hello. Bernard is here. Hello, Bernard. It is nice to see you here. Thank you. I'm sure David's here shortly, but I just wanted to make sure we say hello before we move on because I tend to forget to look at the comments. So
we're getting better at that.
I know. I feel like I've tried to make it your job, and then I'm just so like OCD about things that I'm like, nope, I'm checking it. Nope, it's me. I'm in charge. This is mine. Like that's what I do. So
I'm good at feeling out situations where you're all over it, and I'm just like, all right, no, we need to have that in there right now.
Yeah. So
So we had another week of wrestling. So I'm literally at a loss for words right now because usually I like to sum up the wrestling week or the product at hand. Not only just WWE, because this is the show that we can do it. It's not just WWE. We talk about AEW, which we did last week. We've even talked about Limitless and other indie promotions and have guests on here too. But like, it's so good right now. And even the bad that could be bad, which I'll bring up in our opening segment, obviously, is not even that bad at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a good place to start, especially for this episode, just so we get the juices flowing a little bit before we get into our main topic, main event, which obviously is Night of Champions predictions preview. It will be this Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern time, 10 a.m. your time, Sara.
Yep.
I'm not jealous because I have to work, so I wish that I was.
If you didn't have to work, you would be jealous because you would love to be able to watch it at 10 a.m.
God, imagine just waking up, going to get your coffee and breakfast sandwich, and then just hanging out on the couch.
I wish that I could do that. There actually is a Dunkin' not too far from my house now. I am so excited because that was one of the things that we were so excited about moving back to Arizona because Dunkin' is not in Washington State. And because it's a Starbucks.
It's Starbucks,
And so we always miss Dunkin'. So then when we moved to Arizona, it was like, oh my God, there's Dunkin'. And then of course we moved to a place that the closest Dunkin's like 20 minutes away. I'm like, when I want a coffee or a donut or I don't feel like driving 20 minutes to go get one. So they recently just put one in that's like 3 minutes from my house, and I'm still yet to get to go there. So I
have 3 within a mile and a half.
You live in Massachusetts, so yeah.
I live in where it was founded.
Yes.
Where Dunkin' Donuts was founded is my hometown.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But yeah, enough about that. We got to just get on with it because I want to mention mine. I'm going to take the lead here. It is.
Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud.
The lemon.
Rosebud.
And rosebud of the week. Sara, I'm going to float this out there and then we can decide if it was a rosebud or a lemon. Because what are we? 7 o'clock. Yeah, we're about like 23 hours, almost 24 hours removed from said incident. And I still don't know how to feel.
Okay.
So last night on AEW, Adam Cole and Jericho doing their contract signing. And it's a non-sanctioned match. And it's like, all right, that's great. You have Roderick Strong, but I, Chris Jericho, have my Appreciation Society. And there's no disqualifications, no anything. So it's, you're outnumbered here. And he goes, wait, I got backup. I'm thinking it's like, oh, Kyle O'Reilly's coming back. Nice, good. I like that. Or maybe we, get some Bobby Fish. No, we get the homicidal, the suicidal, the genocidal, Sabu makes his AEW debut. By the way, looking a lot better than I thought he would look.
At like 80
I have
years
not,
old.
huh?
At like 80 years old.
Oh, he has to be pushing 70 at
Yeah.
this point. I mean, and the thing which I don't know how to feel. My mouth, I didn't talk for like 10 minutes. I couldn't. You know me. I'm usually just yelling down here. I had legitimately no words, Sarah. No words.
Yeah, I mean, you told me about it because obviously I wasn't watching, but
Obviously, everybody.
I mean, I understand, I guess, to a degree, just because of who Sabu is, and he's known for like the extreme wrestling, and like he was the face of like ECW basically, because that was his style. So it makes sense that they were like, oh sure, yeah, like let's bring this guy in because that's the type of match that they're dealing with. We want to make it seem like, oh, this is serious. But at the same time, like, couldn't you get somebody a little bit younger, someone a little more relevant, someone that's like you're not just trying to get a pop because he was a WWE guy, like ECW guy, like that's kind of like what you're doing. Because like, is anyone actually scared of Sabu? Like,
Yes,
maybe
I
like,
see. That's the thing. I like low-key am. So
but I'm saying like maybe 30 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, but like I'm saying it would make more sense. Like, I don't know what
Kingdom of Rays are hitting us with that.
what.
That's what I said.
Okay, well, I thought he was like way older, but still, I mean, that's still
Good
like
for him.
that's still grandpa in wrestling world.
That is
though.
grandpa, quote unquote.
And obviously, he looks better than like Ric Flair, who's looked like he was 75 years old since he was 30. So
Yeah, I
mean,
always question that. Like, why did Ric Flair, when I was 5 years old, look the same age?
I think it's like that generation, like
Has to be
my
that generation.
great grandma, she's passed on, but she was like a full pearly white hair at 27 and just like never dyed it. She only did the trends that like, went through at that through those years where it was like they had the blue tint and whatever. Like, she only ever did that. But I'm sure she looked like a grandma before she even was a grandma. And I feel like that's how it is with Ric Flair. He's just always looked like he was 75 years old. But yeah, I mean, I don't know that this is really that exciting for many people, but I mean, it got you a pop and people are talking about it. So I guess that was the whole point.
So I'll go Rosebud for that. I'll say that was my Rosebud because honestly, I have not genuinely felt that shock. I can't pinpoint it right now, but it's been a long time. I want to say the Hardy Boys at WrestleMania because I think there's something before that would have popped me even more, and I just can't think of it. But
you know what? For me, the thing that stands out the most with me, Shane McMahon's original return.
Oh, that one was legendary.
With Stephanie and Vince in the ring. It was spoiled for me, unfortunately.
West Coast?
Yeah, because I wasn't. So like I saw it.
Okay.
But that legit was like probably that's one of the most shocking moments that I can recall in like the last, I don't even know, 10, 15 years, whenever that was. Yeah. So my Rosebud would be that LA Knight is in Saudi Arabia. So they flew that man out there when he doesn't have a match. And he was just a part of that video that WWE just posted where him and Rhea, Rick Boogs is there, Karrion Kross and Scarlett are there. They were all just like kind of sightseeing and like doing stuff when like I don't know if it was the night of that they got there. So he was just in that. So my Rosebud is that's a good sign because I'm like, come on, Triple H, you're pointing me. So I would really like to think that they'll use him because I feel like how much would it suck for them to be like, yeah, we want you to go to Saudi Arabia for Night of Champions, and they fly you halfway across the world for you to just sit and watch. Like,
you got to get paid as long as he's getting paid out of it. Then but still, that would blow. Oh, absolutely.
I'm just trying to be positive and like, oh, maybe they'll have something. I don't know, but I just was excited that they did that because he didn't have to. He could be at home. So trying to be optimistic.
I'm gonna be a little bit of a Debbie Downer here for my lemon of the week.
Okay.
I know all I want to do is, watch wrestling every day. We want to have, at least a show every day, ideally, in my mind. That's why I watch the reruns. But this Sunday, a Memorial Day weekend, you're going to have NXT and Double or Nothing.
You're like, I just want to drink beer and have a cookout with the fam.
Sodas.
Whatever. You're like, I just want to have a cookout. I just want to make hot dogs and hamburgers with lots of condiments out on the back porch at my house with the family. Chug
Like
some
tomato potatoes, the kind of the idea. But like, I don't know. It's just like it's weird for me because I'm the unbiased person here. I'm very excited that we actually do get 2 pay-per-views of different companies on the same day, and I'm gonna have the chance to be able to watch both of them at the same time. I'm very excited for that. But it's I don't know. If it wasn't a holiday weekend, I feel like I'd be more excited, and I feel like that's such a douchey answer, but that's the only thing I can complain about right now. And if that's the only thing I can complain about going on in the wrestling world, I think we're doing fine as a IWC.
My lemon would be that I was just disappointed with this Raw. I was disappointed with the build up to the pay-per-view. And I was disappointed with them having Imperium lose. I'm not going to say anything more. I already went on my rant when we talked about this on Tuesday.
Yeah,
but
check out YouTube channel.
Yeah, that is still just bothering me today. So, yeah.
That's all. If that's all you gotta say, then yeah, don't have to ramble about it.
So before we get into our predictions, I just wanted to look at the comments.
All right, well, I have it.
Okay, you can do it.
No, I was actually gonna go here. Where is it? Never mind. I'm gonna do it. All right. So, yeah, Sabu, 58 years old. Kingdom of Razor. We are both passionate Bostonian Celtics fans.
How dare you? How dare you?
By the way, the series is not over.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, wait a second. The Celtics play in an hour, sir. You don't believe in the comeback?
As the champ of not only the peeps but the Patriot peeps, the Celtics peeps are umbrellaed into that. Don't give up. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if this is what the finals were, I'd be all in on the Nuggets. Are you serious? I could never root for the Heat.
I don't know. Jimmy Butler's kind of awesome.
No, I would be all in on Joker. I like
I
that
do
he
love him too, but
yeah, but I can't root for the team that took us out.
Fair point.
That's the case. So no, absolutely not.
This is the question I want to get to. This is a good question, Richard.
Not for me.
Yeah. Well, all right. So we know what your third is. So what do y'all rank each pay-per-view based on excitement level? Night of Champions, Double or Nothing, and NXT Battleground. NXT Battleground is in my backyard, and I am choosing not to go because of Double or Nothing. So that is going to be my number 1, Night of Champions 2, and Battleground 3.
Yeah, mine would be just WWE, AEW, but that's because I don't watch, and I don't know if I'll be watching Battleground, so it's like I just care about Night of Champions at this point. So, and I care a little bit less about NXT now that my boys are on SmackDown. So, yeah. Also, for all of you Pretty Deadly fans out there, if you exist with me, and this includes Pat because I haven't told you yet, they were just on After the Bell with Corey Graves and
I saw this
Patrick.
clip.
No, you should watch the whole thing.
Oh, it's really
they're only on like half of it.
Yeah.
But no, it was great. First of all, they're hilarious. Second of all, I felt a little bad because they're not too fond of Americans. So I was like, please let me be the exception.
We're not the best of people.
No, I understand. No, but they like kind of talk about how they started and like how they met and just what they try to base their characters off of, and whatever they talk about the femininity and the masculinity and stuff. So anyway, I just thought it was kind of interesting because of course I'm obsessed, but it was kind of cool to hear like a little bit deeper about how they started and whatever, because they were both models.
I could see that. Yeah, they're handsome dudes.
I know.
That's just a fact.
I know. I'm just obsessed. So anyway.
Kingdom Razor, as for the fates of ECW, was RVD. WWE
Well,
said
I just meant he was like a pillar is all I meant. I didn't mean that
pillar
he was like,
is a better word.
Yeah, that's all I meant. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Richie's got some winners at Night of Champions.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna wait.
Oh no, he can. No, we haven't gotten there, but it's fine.
All right. So Asuka, KO, and Sami, Gunther, Rhea, Seth, Trish, and Trish.
I know.
Trish getting the pin.
I mean, we'll get into it. Let's keep going.
Okay. Yeah. I thank you for a little kickstart in the there. And then even more comments from you. There was a report that LA Knight vs. Boogs would kick off the show. That's great. That is great kickoff show material.
I would be fine with that because that means that he was used. So, and I feel like he deserves to be used. So if that's the way, then that's the way. I just want him to be in a better feud after that, you know?
That is the best.
As great as Boogs is, you know?
Yeah, go your separate ways after this. But this is a kickoff show match. Okay? Like, I hate when they put championships on the kickoff show. I hate when they make, maybe not a championship match, but like, a steady feud for a couple weeks. Like, it should just be two guys that the longest feud that they have is the week, maybe two, if you try and stretch it out, just to get the crowd hot.
Yeah.
You just need to get the crowd hot. Once they're hot, then you do however you want to stack the show. I don't care. But the kickoff show, to us, Sara, Sunday Night Heat, that type of show needs to be just quick matches like that, fan favorites, maybe, a fan hatred if it's a massive heel, and then boom, move on to the show. Get your crowd hot. So I like that move. And then another report came out. Seth and AJ could open the show. Yeah, that makes sense.
I hate that. Build the importance of the new World Heavyweight Championship. Make it the main event. And don't do the cheap way of being like, oh, we have 3 main events. No one considers anything a main event other than the last match. I don't care what anyone says. That's just how your brain works. That's how it is in all like competitive fighting companies. So you can say as much as you want that, oh, it's a co-main event. No, it's not. It's not. So I think, I mean, I don't think that it's a punishment to have like the tag team titles not main event, but they already main evented WrestleMania, first of all, and so did Roman the next night. And if you want to try and make the World Heavyweight Championship be considered important and solid and at the same level as Roman's championships, putting it as the opening match is a joke. That's an absolute joke, in my opinion, because then you're going to have Roman and the tag team titles main event. So people are already going to have forgotten about the World Heavyweight title. Like, it's not going to feel important. You're just, once again, putting Roman on a pedestal and making him everything that he does feel bigger than everything else. So in my opinion, I think it should be the main event. That's like, I think, other than probably the tag team championship match, that's going to be the most hyped match that people are going to want to see because there's so much that can happen based on the result. So I don't know. I think it would be a joke, and it's probably going to be what it is, and I'm going to be livid. I'm going to be so mad.
Making the comment to be a devil's advocate, Bloodline is the best story in WWE.
Not right now.
Yeah.
I don't care about Roman and Solo versus KO and Sami. No one gives a shit at this point. I'm sorry, but no one cares. Do I think it's going to be...
It's a story within a story.
It's going to be good, yes. But do I think that they deserve to main event over a new championship that you're trying to make feel equal and not insignificant? No. That's like, if you put them on first, insignificant. If you have them not main event, insignificant. Like, that's just...
Where do you put Cody and Brock?
They don't need to main event.
No, I that's not what
I mean,
asked.
if you're
Where
that
do you
would
put them in the
be
show? Because triple main event. Where are you putting them in the show?
if it's triple. What's the triple main event?
The two we just talked about and Brock versus Cody.
Oh, I would probably put them on first, and then I put the tag titles, and then I put the world heavyweight. And the reason I would do that is because it's a night of champions. Brock versus Cody is not for a championship, so you might as well not have that closer to the end of the show, because the result again is it's not a change of championships.
But then Brock's gonna get mad that he's opening the show again. Like,
that's not opening. That's not opening. If those are the last 3 matches.
No, I'm making it was a bad joke from
I'm sorry, I didn't get it.
And how
anyway,
zoom, right over there.
Yeah. Should we get to some? Let's get to some of our predictions, because
yes,
other than Bernard agreeing with me,
God.
so
wow.
Okay, so let's talk about. Or is that? Can we move on? Is that okay?
Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about one of the women's matches first, which is the Raw Women's Championship: Bianca Belair versus Asuka. I'm interested in this match, of course, because it's Bianca versus Asuka. It's bound to be a good match. I hope it's way better than what we saw at WrestleMania, because I actually was a little disappointed with what we saw at WrestleMania. But the biggest gripe that I have with this is that it's happening so late after Mania. So it's like a Mania rematch that's happening, over almost 2 months later. So I feel like the hype there is not as much as it would be had this happened at Backlash or something. But I think that, based off of what we've seen and the fact that this feud has been reignited essentially over the last 2 weeks, I don't see Bianca losing.
Oh, I think the complete opposite. I think Asuka wins because you need at this point, you need to have Asuka with the title. She's definitely proven it and can be that dominant heel champion. Feels like we're going double heel champions for this. And Bianca hit her milestones for, breaking the records, and, she had her celebrations and all that. Like, there's not much else for Bianca to do. So you have to put on Asuka so now she can have, feuds with Damage Control and them 3. You can do other stars. Liv and Raquel, all that. I just think that is the smart move.
I would agree if this were a month ago, but I still think that Bianca is gonna win. I think I feel like they're like, I think I've said this on here before, but it kind of feels like they're trying to make Bianca into like the female John Cena at this point, where she's like kind of unbeatable, but it just takes the right person to beat her. And I guess Asuka could be that. So, I guess in some ways it's a little bit disappointing, because I feel like Bianca could probably be a really good heel. And I don't know if we're ever going to see that, but it's possible, because it seemed like for a while that they were actually trying to do that with Bayley. And they were like, Bayley can't ever be heel. She can't be heel. She's too over with the kids, and she sells this and she does this. And they changed her, and it was for the better. So it's possible that they'll do that. I think they need to break out of that mindset that they had with Cena, because I think that if we had seen a John Cena heel turn, I can't imagine the amount of money that they would have made from that. It's just, but anyway, that's a conversation for another day.
That is another podcast.
Yeah, I do think that this is I do hope that this is a better match than what we saw last month, because they have the potential to be a match of the night candidate if they can just, I don't know, maybe they just don't have good chemistry in the ring. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. But since we're on the topic of the women's championships, let's talk about the SmackDown women's championship, which was Rhea Ripley versus Natalya. I feel like this is obvious. This is going to be Rhea Ripley, but
I really got nothing. I'm sorry. I would love to ramble on and give you a whole spiel about why, but I do like the champ doesn't waste people's times.
Well, I'll add more. I'll add more then.
You can add more and I will listen and respond, but we all know what the champ is.
I think this is obviously going to be Rhea. I think it has to be Rhea, because at this point they haven't really had her do anything since becoming champion. And I think the biggest issue facing her is how the draft panned out. And we talked about that, where a lot of the women that she could have feuded with went over to SmackDown while she went to Raw. So it's kind of created a problem for her feuds, and that's kind of why we're at this point where she's now having a match in Saudi Arabia against Natalya. So I would like her to have a better feud. I would like her to have a good championship run, and they need to have a good match. I think that they're capable of having a good match. Obviously, Natalya isn't a scrub in the ring, so it's nothing against her personally. It's just obviously Natalya has kind of just become that floater in the women's division that is kind of there to do whatever they ask her to do. And she hasn't been involved in any sort of real feud, I feel like, since the Divas Championship was around. I don't think
I
that
would
she's...
agree with that. Yeah.
And it sucks
No,
for
SmackDown.
her, but...
She was a SmackDown. She was a SmackDown Women's Champion.
Was she?
Yeah.
Okay, but still, like, it's not memorable. It's just my point. I'm just saying, like, it's that's just where she's at in her career, and I think part of it is because she's been around for so long. I don't think it's anything against her skills or anything, but Rhea needs to win this match. She's the young champion. You need to put her over, have her in a good match, especially following up that performance at WrestleMania. You know, she has to have a good match because that match was incredible against Charlotte. So,
And then her match with Zelina was very good too.
yes. So, yeah, I just want her to, you want them to be set up to be successful and not to look like, oh, they just had her win because the hype was there and now it's not, like, I don't know. That just kind of sucks. I'm trying to see if there's any comments that we should address, but I think most of them are just... Natalya has suffered her whole career to bad booking. She's a good wrestler, well respected, but the fans never got behind her due to WWE never developing a character for her, just like Theory. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that they rely too much on Natalya just being a part of the Neidhart family, a part of the Hart family. And they were like, yeah, just go out there and be yourself. And it's like, you kind of... there are wrestlers that could get to that point, but they've already been in the sphere of professional wrestling for several years. So like Randy Orton became more of Randy Orton after being in the company for like 15 years. Same thing with Cena. Like Cena was in the company for 10 years at least before he wasn't a character of himself. He was just an elevated version. So it doesn't work and that's what I've been saying too. I've said this about Theory. I don't know if Richard's been around to see, but that's what I was saying, that they need to do something with Theory because he's not... There's just nothing interesting about him right now. They have him too much of being like too relatable, I guess. Like he needs to be a little, I don't know. There needs to be some sort of spark because you don't want to waste a talent of a guy who's only like 24 years old. Like,
yeah, no, you have to really hold on to that, develop it, slow roast it, all those stuff. And then, we already Richard agree with that. No, I don't think there's anything else that we need to. All right.
Ready for the next match?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I am.
Intercontinental Championship, Gunther versus Mustafa Ali.
Imperium.
I am so... oh my god. The fact that I just discovered that they have t-shirts now, I was thinking the one I sent you, the one of their entrance, is the one I was thinking about getting because the other one is just like Imperium, like up here on the chest. That's all it says. And I was like, I don't want to just like walk around with like Imperium.
You're a walking billboard.
So I was like, I would rather have them on my shirts, So
I agree. That's a better shirt design.
Yes. So I don't have a whole lot to say. I'm gonna be you just from a couple minutes ago when we were talking about Rhea's match. I don't see anything happening other than Gunther winning. I mean,
all right, I'll hot tag in here. Yeah, obviously you need to have Gunther win. That's the obvious here, but the match needs to be good. Okay, the match needs to be...
Wait, do you think a match is capable of not being good when Gunther's in it?
By not good, I mean like squash.
Oh, I don't think they'll do that.
All right. Well, how long do you think this match could go?
I mean, I think I don't know, probably like 10 minutes. I would
You
have
need
to say,
15. You need to give
but
him at least 15.
yeah, well, there's gonna be some sort of, he's gonna do something to get one over on Gunther at least. Like,
That's
I
right.
think
Yeah.
it's hard because it's like I don't know what he could do because you don't want to make Gunther look weak to a man who's literally like half his size. But obviously you don't want this to be a squash match because then it would be like, then what was the point of even making it that?
Mhm.
Because Gunther doesn't need a squash match to look strong. So
I see more Ali utilizing his high flying ability, the quick stuff. A lot of what we would see, I just got text him. What we would see with like Rey Mysterio and that underdog mentality, how he's always going for the legs and really just like the quick jabs, utilizing his speed. But the thing is, and this is why Gunther is so incredible, is that like Gunther is also very quick. All right. He's
yeah.
very fast, very elusive. He can fly off the top rope if need be. He's not doing a springboard moonsault like Ali can, but he can get up there if need be. So that's what makes him that dominant of a champion. That's where you need to highlight the match, that pretty much like in anything you can do, I can do better. Back and forth, do your, knock him out, drag him out, fight, and then do not, I'm booking and do not have Imperium interfere.
I know we can't. Yeah.
Because
They're
if they
probably,
interfere, then it's a cop out. It's like you
well,
could really.
I would assume that they'll come out with him, but then he'll be like, no, kind
Yeah,
of
I'll
like the
do
way that
that.
he
Yeah.
did at Mania. I just need to see them and their entrance. And that's fine. I mean, I'm obsessed with Gunther too, but I'm just obsessed with Imperium in general. So I just want to see my other boys. Isn't that so funny? I'm like, I love Imperium, but I also love Pretty Deadly.
Yeah,
Like,
you just
what?
love the foreigners.
I guess. I would love to see Ali jump off the top rope and just be brought down by a chop. I want to see that so
That
bad.
would be a he goes up, he just
Yeah.
bow. Oh, that would be a nice spot. I'm in. I'm in.
I
on
want to
that.
see that. I want to see that because Gunther, he could do that. But yeah, I mean Gunther's gonna win, and I'm excited. I want him to have a real feud though when after this. Like, I love that he's a defending champion, will take on literally anybody. I love that. Obviously, I can't complain because why would I? When I've been sitting here, I would look like a major hypocrite if I said I didn't like it. But yeah, I want to see him in a feud because it's kind of been a while. It's been a minute since he's had like a feud for the title. So I would love to see that, especially now that he's on Raw. He has like a whole different pool of people to mess with. So my cat, whatever. Okay.
Remy's got to get her in this, her screen time. She needs.
I know. I feel like I need to get another, like a separate camera and just like put it on the floor and be like, here, we can have just like cat cam. Like I'll just have
cat cam.
Yeah, but she seems to want to be on me, so that's the problem. Then we have Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. This one I'm really torn on. Like Richard said at the beginning, he believes that Trish will win. I can see both, honestly, because we talked about it on Tuesday, that I think it was, where it seems like this is a feud that could be drawn out to SummerSlam or even Money in the Bank, which is in July. So if that were the case, I feel like it makes sense for Trish to be the one to win, because if Becky wins, then what would be the point of Trish being like, I'm still hanging around because I'm mad that you won? Like, she doesn't need to. So I kind of feel like Trish is going to win, but I feel like it wouldn't be a clean win. You know what I mean? There's going to be some sort of trickery. Like, what if Lita is there?
Sarah, I like the way your mind works because I think the same thing. I have a feeling that Lita will be in Saudi Arabia or be doing something of that nature, just because
she'll
of
pull
how
a hornswoggle and just come out from underneath the ring out of nowhere.
That would be.
Or she'll miss her cue like Hornswoggle and fall asleep under the ring.
Was it Hornswoggle or Mick Foley?
Hornswoggle did that.
That's incredible. Imagine
he was under the ring and then he fell asleep. So he like was late or he missed his spot. I forget, but yeah.
That's incredible. That is
But
incredible.
yeah.
Because the way that tag team title reign ended in
Hmm.
the backstage, it's like, yeah, I did that to Lita or something. It still is open to the interpretation of my
Yeah.
theory that they're in cahoots with each other, and they'll be like the Hall of Famers or something, and they'll try to take the tag team titles. Oh, we could even have a tag team title feud with Ronda and Shayna versus Trish and Lita.
That sounds disgusting.
It does. It sounds terrible. It's like hot dog soup. Not
Ew.
the worst.
What
Yeah,
the heck?
don't ask me. That's what happens when you have to stay at your cousin's while your parents go on vacation.
That is disgusting.
It is the
Ew.
grossest food I've ever tasted once. That's
Okay.
how I'm gonna describe it.
All right. So I want to talk about some of other people's comments. Trish needs to win her and Becky's first match. Trish hasn't had a singles match in years, and a loss could hurt her ability to call herself a threat. That is a fair thought process, actually. Bernard says, I think Becky will win and Trish will cost Becky the Money in the Bank briefcase. That's not a bad idea either, which I would be fine with because Becky doesn't need the Money in the Bank
Doesn't
briefcase.
need it. Yeah.
Nathaniel says, I think Trish versus Becky's feud will continue the rest of the year. Do you agree? I think it'll at least go to, I think, the latest SummerSlam. Because, I mean, you have to think we're only about to enter June, and SummerSlam is at the beginning of August this year, which is like totally throwing me off.
Really,
But
that is weird.
yeah, it's always been
Yeah, I
like
don't-
August, like mid-August to like the 20s
late
something.
August.
Because like the years I went, we always did a 2-week trip, and it was because we would start up in like San Jose, Sacramento area, go to Raw, SmackDown in there, drive down to LA, and then do the shows around LA. And it was always like August 15th to like August 29th or whatever it was. So it's like
Mhm.
it's the beginning, which is very weird. Richard says Lita could arrive, pretend to be on Becky's side, but then choose to side with Trish. And this Becky would have to face Lita again, maybe at Money in the Bank. Possibly.
Then she faces Lita. Trish is in her corner. Okay, I can see that.
And David says Trish Stratus will win this Saturday night. That's what I'm thinking. But who do you think? You said Becky? You think Becky? Or Trish? You think Trish?
I'm going Trish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have Brock Lesnar. Ew, I just licked my mic when I did that. Ew.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar. Yeah, we're cutting that out. Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes. I'm conflicted on this one, honestly. Part of me is like Cody has to win because it's he's continuing the story. He's finishing the story.
Yep.
But then it's also hard for me to imagine Brock Lesnar losing 2 times in a row. But this is the thing too, right? Is like you see this clip of John Cena talk about how great Brock Lesnar is. I think did you send it to me? I think it was.
Yes,
I don't
I did.
remember. But okay. So he's talking about how
Did send
great
it.
he is and like how willing he is to put people over and blah 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 blah. And I feel like we're kind of seeing a new version of Brock, especially like kind of post Vince sort of. And
Mhm.
so, you know, our trained mind makes you assume that Brock would never, there's no way that Brock would ever take 2 losses in a row, especially to the same person, or not in a fair way. Because we could say last time wasn't fair. Cody kind of got one up on him and whatever. But I don't know. I feel like we might be in for a surprise and we might see Brock lose 2 in a row. But I don't know.
I have a feeling we're gonna see something drastic of a heel turn during this match. I have a weird feeling like why after seeing that post credit scene on Raw with Triple H and Cody Rhodes, the way that Triple H looked at him, and after reading and listening to different things about it, I just have a weird feeling that we're going to start seeing a Triple H authority figure face on television, which that's kind of where Cody's heading with who could he feud with next to keep the story going until he wins. And the only logical thought I have or reasoning behind it is that They're ushering a new era. Vince did it with the Attitude Era and how he made himself a character on a weekly television. This is the beginning of that with Triple H, and it gives Cody like a, you know, another reason to keep going in a sense. Like it's like more fuel to the fire for the story, basically.
Okay, so I think I'm going to say that Cody loses. Because we do know that WWE likes to do things in trilogies.
That's
and
why.
Yeah, so if that's the case, then yeah, this finishes at Money in the Bank, or this finishes at SummerSlam. Because then also it's like, then you think about the whole injury angle of Cody. So right now we're supposed to believe that he has a broken arm. So if he loses on Saturday, then I would assume that's going to have something to do with Brock injuring him more, which means that he's going to have to try and sell being injured. Because like, imagine Cody shows up on Raw with those 2 arm casts, with like the thing that like holds them out, and he's just like, I'm still here. I'm ready to fight, like, can you imagine?
Oh man, that would be hilarious. No, Remy, you agree with that?
Yeah, she's outie. She's like, I'm out of here.
No, she didn't like that. I thought it was pretty. And then you have people sign the cast backstage,
Yeah.
like you make a segment, like people sign the cast.
Yeah, so I would say, I would say Brock Lesnar wins, because also, even though he's been showing up more than he has in recent years or whatever, he's still not like on every single week. And so this would also, if Cody's supposed to be selling an injury, this also makes sure that Brock's not around, or doesn't have to be around every single week. So it's just the idea of it pushing out until SummerSlam just feels so late, because
so late,
since like there's nothing going on in June, and then Money in the Bank in July. And I feel like, I don't know, like feuds do happen at Money in the Bank, but I feel obviously the main premise of Money in the Bank is the Money in the Bank contract matches.
Yeah, the
like
feuds they're gonna be like, they're gonna be freshly new feuds, or feuds that need to come to an end.
Yeah,
that you need to push it to one more pay-per-view. So then that, for the Money in the Bank match, there could be, branches off, and those are the matches for SummerSlam. Like that's their thought, and I like that's what it's for. So I don't see a lot of different feuds starting up really at Money in the Bank.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see. It's just, I think I also have to break out of the idea of SummerSlam being later in August, because I think that's where my mind goes to.
Yeah.
Let's see what people are saying. Bernard says Brock will win, obviously, and the feud will end at SummerSlam. Richard says if Cody is selling a broken arm, he can't win. Fans wouldn't believe it. That is true. I know he beat Seth with a separated pec, but that was against Seth in a cage with weapons. This is a normal match with Brock. Plus, this isn't a real injury. We all know that was a real injury.
It isn't dead, people. Okay.
Yeah, so like that, I think, is an added aspect to it, because we know that there's no way of any wrestler would actually be fighting with a broken arm, at least going into the match with a broken arm.
Yeah, no.
And then he also says, this sounds impossible, but what do you think about Cody and Brock being in the Money in the Bank ladder match? Both catch the briefcase at the same time, and at SummerSlam, the match will be for the briefcase. It sounds impossible, because it probably would be, but that sounds like a video game.
It does. That's a story mode.
That's like a good 2K story mode, though.
That's a really good one. I agree.
I appreciate that. And then he follows it up with Brock. Cody should be the first of the 3 main events. See, we see each other. I predict Cody loses to passing out or the match stoppage by Triple H. There you go. See, but that brings that into the Triple H thing. Like, even if it's not a full blown, I'm not saying I agree about the Triple H angle that you're talking about, but that would be one way to infuse him in it without it being like completely in your face, like automatically that, he's the bad guy. I think that would be a good way to get them a third match too. And then Cody has an argument for why they should have a third match. Then what I think should be this, second of the 3 main events, the tag team championships, the undisputed tag team championships. It will be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. I mean, there's a lot you could say about this match, but I feel like as far as the result goes, it has to be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Because if it's not, I can't imagine I would be leading the picket line. Okay. I would be the one that would be like, yep, I am over this. I don't understand this. I am boycotting WWE. #fire Papa Paul. I mean, I wouldn't be that dramatic, but I am saying that would be one of the biggest mistakes I would have to say of his.
You need to have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn win, not clean.
Yeah, with the Usos. We want the Usos to interfere, but this is the thing. Do we want the Usos to interfere and purposely try to make sure that Roman loses? Or do we want them to interfere and that's just what ends up happening accidentally? You know what I mean? They're trying to come in to help because they're like, oh, we see you guys might lose, but then it ends up backfiring. What do you think? What do you think would be better to happen at this point?
So I would love the accident. I think you can kind of draw that out for a few weeks or a few shows, and it's easy. But I'm just ready for this to kind of end. And
not even end, progress to the next level.
And the next level would be Solo having to choose sides.
Yes.
So purposely is what I want.
That's what I would want too. That's what I would want too, so bad, because eventually I would love to see Solo turn on Roman. But I don't think that's going to happen at this show. But I would love for the Usos to start that, kickstart it, because I think the accidentally thing seems predictable. That would just be the easiest way for them to do that. But I don't think that there's a whole lot more that they can do to add to Roman being pissed at the Usos, and the Usos are confused about oh, I don't understand why he's so mad at us. Especially because there is no pay-per-view in June. It's not like they have a benchmark. It's okay, so we're going to have this happen, and then this is going to set up a match where the Usos do this with Roman in 3 weeks. No, you have to wait 5 weeks until the next pay-per-view or whatever it is, 6 weeks, whatever it is. So I think, it has to be Sami and KO win via the Usos, and I want that to happen so bad. I will be happy clapping to myself as I watch this, because I've been a big fan of the Bloodline storyline, and especially once they had the whole Sami versus them and whatever, it was great, but I'm just ready for that part to be over. That chapter of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline, I need that to be over. This needs to be done. It doesn't matter if Roman gets mad because he lost to the tag team champions and didn't get the tag titles, because the whole point of Roman inserting himself in this match had nothing to do with the tag team titles.
Oh, no, they're a prop.
It's just a shot at the Usos. So it's not going to be something where Roman loses and it's not fairly, and then he's going to be demanding a rematch. This would be, the Usos interfere, make sure that Roman and Solo lose, and then that's the focus, and that's what I want, because I'm just over this. I want to see KO and Sami feud with other tag teams, legitimate tag teams. Can we get them versus Imperium? Can we get them versus somebody else?
The Street Profits would be unreal.
Something. So I am here for that. I want that to happen so bad. Let's see. Okay, so Richard says the Usos were said by Heyman they would be home. However, they will still appear in the match to help Roman accidentally super kick him or Solo, and KO and Sami will win. Possibly, it's kind of what we were just talking about. David says the Usos will screw Solo and Roman. I agree. Richard says Roman will be so upset after the loss that he forces Solo to attack his brothers. Ugh, I want to see that, but I want that to wait, because I want that callback moment where Roman gives Solo the chair and is you have to hit Jay, and then he's no, and he hits Roman. That's what I want to see.
No.
He's no, how dare you, is what he would say. Nathaniel says if Roman wins, I would be so upset because Roman already has 2 titles. Yeah, this would just be more jewelry for him to just not ever show up to be defending. So I don't want.
Or he wins it and he makes the Usos hold them.
Oh my god.
So that he, you know what I mean? That would be really
all this too. This is what we said the other day too. I would like Roman to get pinned on his 1000th day, putting more doubt into his heart about staying champion and making him beyond angry. However, that could potentially devalue a Cody pin to Roman. I think I would love for him to get pinned just because it would solidify the anger in him against the Usos. And I think it would just be like such a contrast between him being the champion for 1,000 days and then him being pinned on that day. I just feel like that would be cool. I don't think it would devalue Cody's though, because that's not going to happen for months. So people aren't going to remember this moment, you know?
And keep in mind, when we say Roman gets pinned, there's going to be some sort of interference that forced him to get pinned.
Right. It's not going to be clean.
Pins him to win those titles. It's going to be as clean as a sparkly new bathroom. Don't know why that was the thing, but you know what I mean?
As a brand new constructed and built, designed bathroom and a brand new subdivision home built in 2023.
What the hell's a subdivision home?
A subdivision? A house in a subdivision? Oh my god.
Yeah, anyway. I know what that is. Moving
on. Okay. Then we have what should be the main event. Seth freaking Rollins versus AJ Styles for the brand new World Heavyweight Championship. I want to see a great match. I don't think I even need to say that because I think we're going to see a great match. It doesn't matter what I want. It's going to be great anyway. And I believe there's like 0% chance that AJ Styles wins this. So I have to choose my boy, Seth freaking Rollins. So I have too many boys. I need to stop saying that. But
you have a lot of boys.
I have a lot of boys that don't even know I exist.
Who knows?
That's the way I like it.
I'm going Seth. Not even. I mean, the most over wrestler, and I'll go face because Roman. The most over is Seth Rollins. He is probably the face of the company right now. I would say, I mean, just in every facet, wants to defend the title weekly, is on every show on a weekly basis, and we're finally going to get that moment of him being World Heavyweight Champion, and it's going to be against AJ Styles. So, all right, at the least, this is going to be a 4-star match.
Yeah.
The least.
Yeah.
Sarah, like oh, man, they're so good. Have they ever faced each other before? Other than other promotions.
I know. I think I saw that. I don't think so, but I can't remember off the top of my head because, I mean, he's been around for what, 6 or 7 years at this point. So
who?
I don't
AJ?
know. Yeah. I think
been around here, and I don't think so either.
2016, 2017.
Yeah, it was
at Royal Rumble.
My freshman year of college.
Yeah, so that's why I said 6 or 7 years at this point. So I don't know. But I mean, yeah, this is going to be good. And I think, I mean, yeah, it might be a little bit obvious, but as I've said before, and I think, you know, you said it too, it doesn't really matter at this point that it's obvious. Like, we're going to get a good match regardless. And they are both at top of the company anyway. So it's not like, oh, Seth is obviously winning because he's against some guy that they just threw at him to be his opponent. It's like AJ Styles, there's not many other dudes that are a better fit to be in this match. So I like that aspect. I don't care that it's predictable. And I also think it's just time for Seth. Like, it sounds silly to say that about somebody who's been a multi-time champion, but I agree with him when he's talked about how he's put his entire life into this. And that's not a dig at Roman, but Seth has done basically everything that you would expect a guy to do to be the face of the company, and they never handed him the keys because they wanted it to be Roman. So I think that he's due at this point. He hasn't been able to fight Roman. You know, they had that one match that ended in a disqualification or whatever, count out. Yeah.
That was a DQ.
Yeah, and so, you know, he's not been able to have an opportunity at that championship. And then before that, they had no interest in him doing anything for the WWE championship. Then they put that one on Roman. So it's like he's just not had those opportunities. It's been a while since he was, a WWE champion, not United States or whatever. So I think that, this is gonna be a good match. I'm excited, and I really hope it main events. I really do, and I'm
better main event after
I'm-
hearing this. Doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't make any sense to not have it not main event, and so I'm really hoping that Triple H sees it that way, especially because they claim to be at least somewhat in tune with what is being said online by fans and media and whatever, and if they've been keeping up with what's been being said about the World Heavyweight Championship since they introduced it. I mean, even AJ Styles commented on it feeling inferior. Then it makes absolutely no sense for them to not have it go on last. So,
No, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be a really good pay-per-view. Okay, I feel it. I feel it in my bones. It's gonna be really.
I feel it in my bones.
A lot. I think because there's not a lot of matches, you're gonna have time to develop these matches and actually tell a lot of good stories from this. And it just the wrestlers wrestling this weekend, they're just good matches, and
Yeah.
I'm very it's even Ali Gunther, which could be a squash match on SmackDown, it has potential to be a show stealer in a sense.
Mhm.
Cody and Brock. I mean, there's so many. There's so many good ones.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
It's a good match card for sure. So I'm just hoping it's good enough for me to not be like, I want to still sleep when it's on,
No,
I mean,
yeah.
I wake up at 7:30 anyway, but I tend to fall back asleep after like a while. So sometimes I'm not awake at 10 a.m. But I'm gonna make sure that I am because I don't want to miss my boys.
Don't miss your boys. It's
boys.
Saturday, 1 p.m. for anyone who has not heard us already. 1 p.m. Night of Champions. Go watch it on Peacock. Thank you guys for tuning in to this edition of Pits and Sara's Wrestling Show, which turns into a podcast on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. Hit that subscribe button. Leave us a nice comment because people are mean. So let's get some nice love and happiness in the comment section. And then don't forget to leave that 5 stars. And then go and subscribe to Sara's YouTube channel where you are watching us now for a majority of you. Hit that subscribe button, bell to notify when we go live. And to know when we go live, you don't want to hit that bell. Follow us on Twitter at Pat_Pitts and at SMarshXO. Instagram as well at SMarsh_ and Pitsy35. Thank you guys for tuning into these predictions for Night of Champions. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you gotta do is try. We will see you next episode.